Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. We've got a really exciting episode for today, don't we, Elle?
We do, we do.
We are staying at the Ayres Rock Campground and we're going out to explore the Uluru Kata Tjuta National Park, and we can't wait to get out and show you all of those things. So why don't you go and get yourself a cold drink and get your feet up for the next 30 minutes or so and come and join us for the adventure. And can I just say before we go on, I apologise. I don't know how many times I say Kata Tjuta wrong in this episode. I don't know what I was thinking.
You definitely wouldn't want to make it a drinking game, that's for sure.
No, you'd be very, very drunk. Anyway, we really hope that you enjoy it. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
Turn left onto Uluru Drive. Your destination is on the left.
Ali and I have come into Uluru for 3 days. We're staying in Uluru at the campground. You don't get many options here, do you, babe?
No, you're limited in your options.
There's a couple of free camps about 40 kilometres back up the road, but other than that, not too much more. And the free camps that we read online, they're not the best in the world. So we thought, look, you're only going to do this once. Let's come down, we'll spend a few bucks and we'll stay in the van park. Now we're in the overflow section, and that's cost us $60 a night, and we'll show you the overflow section very soon. It's I'm just going to say it's not worth it, but as I said before,
It's very expensive.
you only
for a
do
piece
this
of dirt.
once. But I get Al just to flick the camera around, because there's a whole stack of different accommodation that you can do here. So there's grass tent camping, powered caravan sites, there's cabins, yeah, just about everything, isn't there?
Unpowered.
Yeah, suits every style of camping. There's toilet blocks, there's all the normal amenities that you'll find inside of a caravan park. If you're staying in the overflow section like we are, you are still a part of the caravan park. So all of those things that are available inside the park are available to you out in the overflow section as well. So if you want to come down here and use the toilets and showers every night, knock your socks off. We'll just use what we have in the van. That's just the way that we are though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, so the park itself, it's in close proximity to Uluru, and I think it was about, we've driven out there, so it was probably only about, what, a 20-minute drive, do you reckon?
I think 25-minute drive.
Yeah, you've got to go and get your permits and stuff. So to visit Uluru from here, if you want to go in to see into the park, you've got to pay your permit. It costs us $38 each for 3 days. And if you don't want to go into the park, then obviously you don't need to buy the permit. That's pretty simple. But you've got Uluru here, and you've also got Kata Tjuta, or the Olgas.
Yes.
All right, so we'll just flick the camera around here, Al. This is the out the back section, or the overflow section. Now, we heard before we come up here that you didn't need to book the overflow, but when we rung the caravan park a few days ago to ask what time we could come in from, we had to book and we had to pay then, didn't we?
Yes, that's what was recommended.
Yes, well, it wasn't recommended, they insisted. So we had to pay $180 to spend 3 nights here. I'll just go for a drive over here. If you come into here and you want water, you'll see this fire hydrant just over here in front of us. And there is one drinking water tap there. So if you need to fill up when you first come in, that would be my first port of call. If you need to use a dump point, there is one here in Uluru. It's located about 5 or 6 kilometres away from where we are right now. Just look on Wikicamps and you'll find it.
Yes.
Anyway, so this is the overflow section. Just over here on the right hand side of the car is the town generator. You do hear that noise, but it's a bit of a white noise. It's not overwhelming. It's not going to annoy anybody too much, I wouldn't think, unless you're camped right under it. And here's our spot here. So we tried to push ourselves closest to the poles, or closer to the poles, so we didn't get like locked into a spot, but it's pretty good here. Good for the panels, and we should be pretty good out here.
I think so.
Yeah.
When you go to book in, you'll find the reception right at the front gates. and there's plenty of parking there for you and your rig. In fact, there's plenty of parking there for about 20 rigs. Inside of the shop you'll find plenty of excess camping gear along with your normal chips, chockies and drinks.
Another fantastic facility they've got here at the campground is their pool. It's a really big one too, and it has a children's pool. It was -1 last night and I just put my hand in. This water is bloody freezing, but yeah, if you want to come down here in the middle of winter and go for a swim, because that's what you're into, come down and get into it. But on a hot summer's day, this would be absolutely fantastic. What do you reckon, Al? Definitely. I almost dropped the GoPro a second ago, so we nearly were going for a swim.
You were going for a
Nearly. And the last thing about the campground, it's dog friendly, so you can bring your family pet along with you, and there was no shortage of people on the notice board who were willing to dog sit for you whilst you went into the national park. We come out to the sunrise viewing area. There's a walk that you can do that takes you around to, it's like a boardwalk, isn't it, Al?
Yes.
I'm going to give you a look anyway. So here's the walk that you do. It takes you up to a viewing platform where you can see the rock and watch the sunrise. But I have read, and I've heard from other people that we've met whilst we've been travelling, that this is really good for the sunsets as well, because you actually watch the sun go over the top of the rock when it sets. So yeah, we're going to have a chance to see one but not both, so we'll probably go to the proper sunset viewing point and see it from up there because of the way that the rock changes colours and things. And I'll try and time lapse it and see if we can see what it looks like. One thing that I think they've done really, really well when you come out and you visit Uluru is they've made it accessible to everyone. So all the walking tracks that you see, particularly in these areas like the sunrise, sunset, are all wheelchair accessible. You can bring your kids, small kids up in their prams and strollers and all that sort of gear. Everybody gets to enjoy it. It's a fantastic place to come and see. I know we've said it on the channel before, but I'm going to say it again. It doesn't matter where you go for a great view of something, there's always just that one bloody tree. Been done in again here. We've walked our way up to the sunrise viewing area. Obviously it's not sunrise, it's in fact quite late in the afternoon. We thought we'd show you just in case you never got a chance to come up here and see it while you're here. We don't get up early enough for the sunrise. But just looking here behind us, you can see Uluru right here in front of us. And then over there you can see the Olgas. It's a beautiful place, just looking out across all the plains and the tops of the trees, and then just some of the most magnificent pieces of landscape I think we've ever seen. It's quite amazing. Anyway, Ali and I will be back here for sunrise tomorrow morning because we're doing a walking tour around the or the base walk all the way around the bottom of Uluru. It was the 60th birthday present for my mother, so I'm really looking forward to doing it. Should be a great day out. Well, good morning everyone. We're up nice and early this morning. It's just gone about 6 o'clock, which is early when you live on the road. Not when you're going to work. And it's bloody freezing. It's -2 in the caravan at the moment, but Ali and I told you before we never put a diesel heater in here because we just follow the sun. So a couple of days of discomfort in the cold, it's not too bad, is it?
Yes, we don't probably spend enough time in the cooler weathers to justify a diesel heater.
No, and we don't rug up like this inside the caravan. It's only that we're going out this morning. So
yes.
I think I might have told you before, but I'll tell you again just in case you missed it. I might have turned 60 this year, and for my 60th birthday, my mother and her partner James, they bought us a very
they bought you a really lovely gift.
They did. They bought us a base walk around Uluru, so we're going to go out and meet the bus very soon. We'll head out towards Uluru, and I think we watch the sunrise and have a bit of breakfast, and then we do a full guided tour around the rock. So
we do.
It should be a great day out, so we're going to bring you along with us and show you what we see.
Set the pace a little bit, don't stress too much if you are falling behind. I will stop and wait for you when I do stop to give talks and that sort of thing. Don't worry too much, you won't miss out on anything, but I will set the pace a little bit. We're going to be walking pretty briskly.
Started the base walk around Uluru. It's quite nice this morning. The sun's just come up here, and here's the rock here. So it's A fantastic walk. The whole walk is, I think he said about 11.5 kilometres all the way around. So we walked for like an hour and a half. We stopped a little bit of brekkie, and then there's another 2 legs after that. So it should be a good day, I know.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's bloody cold at the moment. My nose is freezing. Anyway, we'll keep you updated until it gets any warmer.
My right hand side, quite flat. I wouldn't say featureless, but stunted vegetation. There's not a lot of trees. And you notice that for the whole walk to our right hand side so far, we've had on our right pretty thick, dense mulga scrub. The reason that that's not over here as well anymore is because that what you're actually looking at there is the old airstrip. So back in the 1950s and 60s, they used to fly planes here, fly planes in on the most sacred side of the rock. They used to land right there, and a lot of the campsites were sort of spread out around. There was the National Park entry gate was actually on the back side of the community over there. So you drive in from this way and you would fly in here. But no, what they did to actually get that airstrip to sort of still be there after so many years, they poured diesel all over this big patch of ground here.
So we come down to the gorge where the water holes are, and there's some information here on how they used to gather the water or collect their water, but more importantly how they used to hunt, which is quite ingenious. They'd wait for a herd of emus to come down and wait for them to leave, and when the last one was on his way out, they'd knock him off so the others didn't know that they'd lost one.
Which means K for women. Mimar is a woman, Wadi is a man. The ku at the end there, that is a suffix for meaning for. So K for women, what's really cool, you can't actually go there anymore because they've moved this forward, but you used to be able to go just a bit behind here, and you've got this big slab of rock coming down. Just behind there, you've actually got a bit of a kitchen cabinet, I guess you could say. The rock formation actually has a couple of little holes in it, facing that way, where they were keeping food, but what they actually kept inside of there was kangaroo fat, which is still all stuck and dripped. It's like wax stuck to the side of the rock. So you'd have to take my word for it now, but just on the back side of that rock, they actually used as a bit of a kitchen cabinet.
This particular cave was like a teaching area where it taught young men where they would find food and all sorts of things in the area, what sort of weapons that they'd use, and yeah, very, very interesting. A bit like a teacher's chalkboard. Located directly across from the car park. If you come over, there's some shady areas you can sit. If you go past the shady areas, you find some toilets and things down there. There's also drinking water here if you need it, but a good place to sit down and cool off. Right in front of the rock. In 2019 they stopped people from climbing the rock, but if you have a look up here you can still see the white scar on the rock from where the old track used to be to get up there.
Here in red ochre, 2 figures with sort of 2 arms and some heads. You've even got a third one over here as well. So those are an evil spirit, a mamu. I can't tell you the story of them, I don't know, but that's what the images represent, a mamu, an evil spirit. You have up above the top here, you've got this one here, the arching figure with the lines, but it's got straight ends. This one here, arching figure with the lines, curved ends, 2 different things. I can tell you that they're not Uluru and they're not the Sydney Harbour Bridge. What do you reckon they might be?
Rainbow.
Rainbow? Close? No. So what you have, two different things there. First with the left side with the straight edges, that is a nampa, a men's tool belt. It was made out of human hair. They would collect hair from the men, women, whoever had the most hair would have to donate the most hair, and they could make their men's tool belt. That would be used to carry kills, weapons, tools, that sort of thing. But this one here on the right, that one is a marku. A marku is a witchetty grub. So a big, important part of the Uluru diet and a delicacy out here.
This was interesting and a sad fact, but in the 50s and 60s, the tour guides used to throw buckets of water over the rock art so people with black and white cameras could get a much better shot. Unfortunately, all it did was wash the rock art away that had sat there for thousands of years. Well, this waterhole was truly beautiful, and many years ago people used to come down here to swim, but it's just a beautiful place to come and visit now. But as we see all too often, here's the reality, what it really looks like. Great place to come and visit though, hundreds of people, very, very popular.
Beautiful folks, well we're on the home stretch now, we've got about half an hour or so to go. So what I was going to do for the next section, if you feel like stretching your legs and just power walking all the way to the end, you're more than welcome.
We've just come to the last stop on the tour, which has been really good so far, but we've just been given the command that we can hoof it back to the bus. We know hoofing it, we've already walked about 9 k's, we'll just take our time and get back there.
There's a bit of a slope up ahead of us on the left hand side, pretty rocky looking slope, but just to the left of that face of the rock there where there's a lot of little caves, little tiny little holes. So that is Warmala, that is where the Uluru warriors speared Markunya's nephew. It's called Warmala. Warmala means war party.
All right, Al, well that was our walk around Uluru this morning. What did you think of it?
I had a good time. It was very interesting, learnt a lot. It's very different up close and personal with the rock.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
If we were fortunate enough to have a paid tour, thanks to, as Steve said, Robin and James. It was a very generous gift, but even if you come and just walk yourself around, I think there's some self-guided tours, you'll have a mighty time.
Definitely. At 10 o'clock every day, the park ranger will meet you right at the old climbing point or the Marla car park, and you can go and do a free tour with the park ranger, which was very, very popular this morning. There was quite a few hundred people there that were there for that. You can walk around Uluru like we did. You can ride a Segway around, you can ride a bike, but if you want to get up and get that close personal experience, start walking, because you're really going to love it. 11.5 k's, we can all do it, come on. Yeah, great experience. Go back, do it again tomorrow. It was fantastic. And you got breakfast.
On our tour we did. I like breakfast. Yeah, I like breakfast,
but great tour. If you want to get and do it, you can book it through, I think, ATT?
AATT.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, you can do that one out here. You can book that here at Uluru, but I'd suggest, because it was very, very popular, get it booked before you get out here. Once again, thanks Mum, thanks James. It was a great morning out. If you come into Yulara but you don't go into the national park and you want to see a great shot of Uluru, come to the lookout in the centre of Yulara. You won't miss it. There's signs through everywhere. You just walk up. It's a pretty gentle walk. This is what you get. So there it is. But I've got to be very honest, you've got to be up close and personal to really get a feel for the rock and the enormity of it, don't you, El?
You do. It definitely gives a different perspective.
Yeah, it does. So just a couple of other things you might want to know about Yulara if you decide you want to come out here to Uluru. I want to call it the township.
Yes.
Seems to be more just a really, really big resort. There's I think 3, 4 or maybe even 5 hotels here that you can book into, which are all part of the Ayres Rock Resort. And there's also the campgrounds where we are, which we've already showed you through. There's a Shell garage in town. I think today's price is about $2.76 a litre. What else is there, Al?
I think there's an IGA.
Yep.
The there's restaurants. They encouraged us to go out to the restaurants.
There is, and there's a free shuttle bus which circles around the Ayres Rock Resort all day, and it drops you off at the different restaurants. When we booked in here at the campground, they gave us a QR code, tells you about the restaurants. The other thing that you get here is you get a permit to drink alcohol that you've got to take with you when you go to the restaurants.
Yes.
And they're very specific about that. You can drink it in your caravan when you're back in the van park. That's no dramas with that. But at any of the restaurants, to be able to have a glass of wine or a beer or something with your dinner, you certainly need to have that permit with you, so don't lose it if you come out here and you want to have a drink with tea.
I think again it's just part of the Northern Territory's alcohol regulations, and every area is a little different, but they're more strict, I think, than just the city areas.
They certainly are. Anyway, the idea is to come out here, have a great time, enjoy some bloody national treasures out here through Uluru and Kata Tjuta. So yeah, definitely a beautiful place to come and visit, beautiful place to come and stay. Good morning everyone. A new day, new destination. Today is the 5th of July. We don't normally tell you the date, but it's very important for us, isn't it, Al?
It's a special day.
It's our wedding anniversary. We're going to celebrate it by coming out here to Kata Tjuta and checking it out. We'll go for a walk around some of the walking trails while we're out here, but we're going to kick it all off at the Dunes viewing area, which is on the drive in when you're coming in from Ayres Rock. So yeah, it should be really nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go and check it out. Well, I've got to say, Al, that Kata Tjuta is very impressive to look at. It's absolutely enormous. I think when we done the walk around Uluru, they told us that to walk around the base of Uluru was, I think, 11.5 kilometres on the walk you do, but the actual walk, if you run your hand along the rock while you were walking, was only 9.5. Yes. And they said that, just to put it in perspective for you, here at Kata Tjuta, the distance around it is 22.5 kilometres, so it's very, very imposing on the landscape. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's called Kata Tjuta because in Aboriginal that means many heads. So if you're driving out to Kata Tjuta, you'll see a turn off and it just says Dunes Lookout. Make sure you spend 10-15 minutes or so, come out here and have a look. It's well worth it. Once again, here's Kata Tjuta, and if you follow around on the horizon, there's Uluru. It's a fantastic viewing point to see both features out here. We've made our way over from the Dunes Lookout, and we're right here at the base of Kata Tjuta now. We're about to do the Walpul circuit, which is about 2 k's, I think, Al?
I think so.
Somewhere around there. There's a couple of tracks you can do here, so then we're going to go down to the Valley of the Winds. The Valley of the Winds is one track, but there's a few offshoots on it that make it a little bit different. So in total you can do 4 different walks here, but we're going to do this one and then we'll do the Valley of the Winds. So we'll do 2 today. But here it is. Pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool.
Starting to walk into the canyon here on the Walpul walk. It's beautiful. It's very cool. There's a breeze blowing right through that gap straight at us, and it's a cold day today, which doesn't help it. Yeah, it's beautiful. But to put it in perspective, if you've never been here before, we're just having a talk about it. We think these walls might be not quite as tall as some of the ones that we saw in Carnarvon.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's a little bit hard to say, but they're right up there. Like, these things have to go well over 100 metres. Well over 100. But beautiful nonetheless, isn't it?
That's amazing.
How green it is down here. There's a creek flowing down in the middle here. It's, yeah, really, really beautiful place to come and visit. As you walk further into the gorge, the bottom of the gorge gets greener and greener. There's a creek we showed you a little bit earlier before that meanders through here, and this was a water source that the Indigenous used when they used to come up into this region up here. And then as you go up through the walls here, you can see these little caves and holes in the rock, and a lot of them have like grasses and things growing there, and it's like a little bit of a terraced garden as you go up. Yeah, it's quite spectacular.
Yes.
All right, let's get up the end of the gorge and check it out. first things that we've noticed here in Kata Tjuta is it's just it's made differently. Like if you've already been to Uluru, you see how smooth the rock is, but here it's like it's just compacted billions and billions and billions of stones. It's very, very impressive. But I'll give you a bit of a close-up and show you what it looks like. So here's an example of the side of one of the canyon walls. It's very, very different to Uluru. Uluru has that really smooth finish to it, whereas this, as I said, just looks like trillions and trillions of rocks that have just been compressed to form these massive mountains of stone. But yeah, really, really different. I'll cut in a picture of a boulder that's fallen down from the top of the canyon somewhere. You can really see how it's made up, but it's very, very different. But when you look at the both of them from a distance, they look exactly the same in colour and the way that they look like they're formed until you get up close. As we start to walk out of the gorge, you look directly out across the plains to the west, and that's the pathway to Western Australia via, I think it's the Great Central Road that takes you out there. You need a permit for it. It's about 190 k's to the border from here. But for Ali and I, this is probably as close as we'll get to West Australia for maybe the next 12 months or so. We're not 100% sure, but we'll get over there. So that was the Walpul walk. It's a beautiful walk, isn't it?
I really enjoyed it.
It is. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, if you come out to Kata Tjuta, you're really got to take the time to come and walk out here. The walking track is relatively easy. We did see a guy up here on a walking stick, didn't we?
We did, yeah. It's a fairly easy walk, yes.
Yeah, you'd struggle though with a pram or even a wheelchair, so you wouldn't get those sorts of things up here. But certainly, yeah, most people with a reasonable level of fitness would have no dramas whatsoever.
Absolutely.
Beautiful walk, a little bit chilly when you come in. It is today anyway because it's only 14 degrees, but the breeze blowing through the gorge
makes it a little chillier.
Makes it a lot colder. It does. Anyway, our plan from here, we're going to drive down to the Valley of the Winds walk, and we're going to have a little bit of lunch, and then we'll go for a bit of a walk around there and show you what there is to see. One of the great things you'll find at the start of the walking tracks is there's plenty of drinking water to fill up your bottles from. They recommend that you drink about every 15 minutes and at least a litre every hour. The rock looks absolutely magnificent from here at Kata Tjuta. It's really red out here in the afternoon sun. We're going to go for a walk up the lookout. It's a round trip of about 3 k's. Should be really nice. We've recharged after a little bit of lunch and we're now on the Valley of the Winds walk. We're going to go up to the lookout. I think it's called Kuja Lookout or Kuja Lookout. It's one of the two. Whatever it is, I'll drop in the proper name at the bottom here. I did read it. It's probably about a 3k round trip. That'll probably do us this afternoon after walking all of Uluru, this and the other walk up there through the valley. So
Steve's feeling the effects of his walk.
My legs are a bit sore. That's my bleeding heart excuse. Alright, but it's beautiful. Check this out. This has a bit more of a Uluru shaped feel to it, but once again, once you get up close to the rocks, completely different. One thing you'll notice when you come here to do this walk is just the enormity of the cliff faces. This thing is huge. The GoPro will never do this one justice. It must be at least 250 metres high. Just runs down there in the valley. The breeze has really picked up. Beautiful. So this is the first lookout on the track. It's absolutely beautiful here. The lookout's called Karu. It's a very easy walk up. It's a little bit rocky and stuff like that, but I think most people will be able to make it up here. When you get up, you can see right down along the side of Kata Tjuta here, or a part of it anyway. Yeah, it's beautiful. I can't believe how big that thing is there in front of us. It's huge. This lookout is also the divide or the fork in the road to go on to do the full loop walk, which is another 7.4 k's from here. If you go to the next lookout, it's a 1.6 k walk down, so 3.2 k loop back to here, and then the walk back to the car park. So it's probably about another 4.5 k's on your trip, but yeah, definitely well worth the walk. Definitely well worth the walk. All right, so it's going to walk up to the second track. It's the second lookout. The track's home at the moment, so we'll head up and check it out. So the Valley of the Winds is very appropriately named because it's bloody windy here, so you have to excuse the microphone at the moment. We're just making our way down. As soon as you make the turn from lookout 1 to head towards lookout 2, it's just a rocky, stony path, which is downhill, which is fantastic because that means on the way back it's all going to be uphill. But it should be worth the walk. We've got about another kilometre to walk to the second lookout. We come down that hill that I showed you just a few moments ago, and then you come to start to walk into the valley, and it's a beautiful walk as you come in. The rock around us is like huge. It's just dwarfs Uluru. I mean, Uluru is like 350 odd metres high, whereas Kata Tjuta at its highest point is I think 1,089, so it's huge. Along the route you'll find some more water points. There's one just here. Yeah, this is called the South Tank. So obviously the rangers know which ones that is, but just that they supply it is fantastic. Alright, for this section of the track you actually have to walk on the side of one of these huge mounds. And it's a little bit tougher walking. You sort of one step back, two step, wasn't one step forward, two steps back, but it's not that bad. You only go up about 10 metres or so. The track continues. You just meander here along side of creek, just follow the little blue markers. And this should wander us up to the lookout. I think we're about 500 metres away now, so hasn't been too bad. Alright, we're just starting to head up towards the hill. We'll go up the hill now for the lookout. We just got the big tip from a bloke and his partner who walked down past us and just said get ready to feel the burn. So we can only figure that's got a good uphill section to it. We're going to find out in a minute. Well, we've made our way up to the second lookout now, which is absolutely stunning. Unfortunately for you, we're going to respect the wishes of the Indigenous. They've asked that no photos or photography is taken in this area or forward of where we are right now. Yes. So shooting behind us is fine, like you can see in the background there, but what's in front of us you can't. You're just going to have to come up here and check it out for yourself. You will. I'm going to tell you this, it is absolutely spectacular. In fact, it was probably, I want to say it's one of the best views I think I've seen since we've been in Central Australia. It's quite amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Yes, it just keeps taking me in all the time. And I'm in awe of it every time I look at it. Yeah, this is unbelievable. All right, we're going to make our way back to the car park. We'll go and watch the sunset over Kata Tjuta this afternoon. Then we're heading back into camp for a little bit of anniversary day dinner. Yes. Which will be cooked today, but it'll be good. So we're just making our way down to the sunset area at Kata Tjuta. It's not the same as what is at Uluru, is it? No. It's you park up in the car park and then you walk down a dirt track and find yourself a position down here. We're not going to hang around till absolute sunset, but we'll take some photos as the sun starts to go down, and of course we're going to share those with you. So we've walked down probably about 300 or 400 metres from the car park to the last position to watch the sunset here at Kata Tjuta, and that's the picture that you get as the sun sets just over from behind you, and it sets in against the side of the rock formation. It's a beautiful thing to look at. We just pulled up, we're driving in towards Uluru, we're going up to the dune to watch the sunset, and on our way back in from Kata Tjuta we saw this herd of camels walking over the hill. How cool is that? Very cool. You can just see, there's Uluru right there, there it is. And here's our herd of camels. They're just up on the ridge line. You have to excuse my photography at the moment, I'm doing it all on my mobile phone. Well, we've come down to Uluru to watch the sunset, and that's also the sunset on tonight's episode. Do you like that one now? That was a good one. Dad joke. If you liked today's episode, please hit the like button. If you've got any questions or comments about today's episode, hit us up in the comments section because we love to read your feedback. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so because it allows our channel to grow. But we're going to close out this afternoon with the sun setting over Uluru. We hope that you enjoy it as much as we do. See you next week. Bye-bye. See ya. I'm thinking about making this bit of a theme. Here's another classic Aussie Holden in front of a classic Aussie scene.